Rob didn't tell me. Front row's open. just like at church.
Yeah.
I came to the basketball game the other night.
Yes.
Phil Ripper
Yeah.
was walking at the same time as I was. We know him from the 4-H garden thing that we do.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, boy, my daughter-in-law. She's going to say, why are you sitting with the school board member? I saw you in there. So I said to her, I said, did you see me sitting with Phil? Yes. My husband and I are like, what? He was just chatting your ear off. Do you know him? I said, yeah. Yeah, we know him.
He's a good guy.
I like him. I like him very much.
Yes.
And if we can't get to our garden, he weeds and waters it. He takes care of Lisa. What terrible gardeners. Joe and
Joe, yeah. And
they
Bill
make
White.
us look bad. Oh yeah. You were gonna ask me something?
Yes. Oh, are you going to Republican Lincoln Day dinner?
Never heard about it. How do you hear about it?
Good question.
They don't have a Facebook page. I don't go on Facebook.
Good, but, all right, it is 6:30 and I will call to order the March 10th Tipton Community School Corporation School Board meeting. I would make a general announcement to those of you in the back of the plane. There are some seats available in the front of the plane if you don't want to stand, and we will dismiss you so you don't have to sit up here all night. But if you want to stand, that's great, but I thought I would make that announcement, let you know. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our vision statement, growing empowered, future-ready students who are prepared for a lifetime of opportunity and success. All right, next on our agenda is the Tell Me Something Good portion, where the board has a chance to weigh in on something. And so I'd open the floor up to anybody that has something to share. What do you got? Uh-oh, we're working on.
I was invited to help do mock judging for the FFA's district LDE contest last week. It was very eye-opening, and I will say that with Mrs. Nichols back there and Mrs. Hartley. It was very eye-opening. I knew nothing about giving birds injections or about cross-contamination of allergens, and I learned a whole lot about it. So great job to our students. I know they all placed really well in that contest, but specifically, those are the ones I got to guest judge, and I am a wealth of knowledge now.
Very good.
And I'd just like to go give a call out to all that I saw about what our FFA group is doing and congratulate everyone on their achievements. And thank you very much for all you do for us.
Right, I guess we'll move right on to our Blue Future Awards. We'll get started with, I guess it's me, right? Okay. So I don't know, I saw a couple of them walk in, but I, Cadence Stout, Addie Gilson, Ava Brewer, and Luke and Hope Walker. If you are here, if you'd come forward real quick. There's Luke. And Hope, okay. All right. I will be quick on this, but as you know, the Tipton Community Theater leverages the high school's auditorium. We just ran through a 2-week run of Cinderella. And so I wanted to recognize 5 of you. 2 of you are here tonight, Luke and Hope Walker. Luke was instrumental in our sound booth, and Hope did a great job in the light booth. Actually picked up some slack for her dad on numerous occasions. But I wanted just to give you some context here. this is months and months and months of rehearsals. This was an adult show, so these are adult actors, so you can draw your own conclusions with that. So, and we move into the auditorium for 2 weeks of tech, and we hand the entire production over to literally 5 students and a couple of adults to run the whole thing. So every light cue, every sound cue that you hear is being fired by one of Lisa's Sparks program. And so I just wanted to thank you guys both again for a great job, well done. And Lisa, again, thank you for the program and for volunteering some people to help us out. So thank you so much. There you go, Luke. Both great job. All right. Great job, guys. Good.
Mr. Leach.
Next, we'll have Mr. Leach come up. Oh, Mr. Johnson's coming up. Okay, that'll work too. All right, awesome. I tried to mix it up a little bit.
Turn your mic on. Please.
All right, good evening. Tonight, Tipton Elementary School, there, Miss Wigington come up as well. Miss Wigington and I would like to present our Blue Future Award to Carolyn Friend. Carolyn, why don't you come on up? So tonight we wanted to give this to Carolyn. This is just one instance that Carolyn has shown her professionalism and how great of a speech pathologist she is. We had a student that she started working with this year, and she met with the parent for a case conference at the beginning of the school year, and this student had struggled with speech. He's a 3rd grader and had been struggling with speech. They've tried a lot of different things, and Carolyn actually identified a medical condition that the student had that no matter how much speech he would have gotten, probably would have never been able to reach his full potential in speaking. And so just this past week, that student actually got surgery for that medical condition, and they saw results immediately. They said he was starting to speak clearly, and I haven't got a chance to talk to him yet, but I know Carolyn talked to his mom, I believe, and emailed with his mom. But we're just so thankful because that's something, she identified it. She kept her persistence in talking with her colleagues and people down at Riley to get him an appointment. There was a 4-month wait, and Carolyn made a phone call, and boom, there's the appointment, and he's in and already had his surgery. So just want to thank Carolyn Friend. So.
All right, I have 2 groups this month that I'd like to recognize. I didn't see my wrestlers, but if Will or Braden are back there. Yeah, I might be helping there. I was told there's a lot of conflicts when we get to spring. So, but I still did want to take the time to recognize Will and Braden for their extraordinary wrestling seasons. Both were semi-state qualifiers. Didn't quite get out of semi-state, but it was fun to watch, and obviously they're putting in tons of work. Will, for his senior season, finished at 36-5. He was a conference runner-up, a sectional champion, a regional champion, and then a semi-state qualifier. He was a senior second-team all-academic state, and then Century Club recipient with 132 career wins, which puts him 5th all-time at Tipton High School. So an outstanding career for Will. And then Braden finished with a 33-9 record. He was a conference champion, finished third at sectional, 3rd at regional, and then, like I said, he got was a semi-state qualifier as well. So If you guys haven't been to these wrestling meets when they're doing sectionals and regionals and just like I can't imagine like the build up and then having to wait and then go wrestle and then you just got you get another guy behind it and all that kind of stuff. These guys do an outstanding job at representing Tipton High School. So these certificates are for Braden Height and Will Wolford. And then now, if all the band students, high school band students, would come on up, and Miss Wall. See if we can. I don't know. Do you want this way or that way? How about that? I'll do that. Try to make this as efficient as possible. If you guys want to line up, maybe here in the front. Miss Wallen also let me know that there's quite a few that had other obligations. But I wanted to take some time out this month also to recognize all of our band students that went off the solo and ensemble, the ISMA competition, which we do every single year. Just like sports or anything you're passionate about, it takes a lot of time, energy, effort to be good at something, right? They could go and compete and do all right, and everybody would be proud of them. But to take the extra step and get the golds with distinctions and advance the state in these competitions is a really big deal. That on top of, these guys are performing in pet band. We throw things on them all the time for the fight song and that kind of stuff. So they already have a full workload as students at Tipton High School. They do well with the band, and also they're preparing these solos and ensembles. So I'm going to read through all of the gold rating solos and then read through the ensembles. If you're here, step forward so that everybody knows that that's you and that's what you've done. And then once I get done with all of this, then we'll do certificates and everything there towards the back. Does that sound good? Okay, so with gold ratings, Corbin Chambers had a gold rating with the flute solo. Emma Gunn had a gold rating with her clarinet solo. Selkie Parsons had a gold rating with the soprano sax solo and also alto sax solo. Connor Klauser had a bari sax solo that received a gold rating. Sarah Jane Hill had a gold with her trumpet solo. Jude Rockwell finished it with gold and tuba. Luke Walker had a solo with a timpani solo. And of those in the solo category, Corvin, Emma, Selkie, Connor, Sarah, and Jude all are qualified for the state competition, which was after that, and I can share those results here in just a minute. And then with our ensembles, Roland Yates, Cadence Martin, and Colt Butke all had a gold rating with their clarinet trio. Sarah Jane Hill, Savannah Lucas, Josiah Goshern, and Cheyenne Mulvaney had a gold rating with the trumpet quartet. And then Amelia Porter, Kinsey Barr, Caden Vaughn, and Adeline Yuri had a gold rating with the woodwind quartet. And our percussion ensemble of Jake Ray, Zoe Garrison, Luke Walker, Ryan Hare, Aria Schuler, William Wayne Scott, and Jude Rockwell also finished with a gold rating. So if we'd like to give these guys a round of applause. And then two last things here, the state solo and ensemble results. Emma finished with a gold rated clarinet solo at state. Selkie also in the alto sax. Connor Klauser with his bari sax. Sarah Jane Hill with trumpet with distinction and a perfect score. Yeah, big deal. And Jude Rockwell also finished gold with tuba. And then the gold-rated ensembles were the clarinet trio, as mentioned earlier, and the percussion ensemble. So last thing, before we give them one more round of applause and a congratulations, I want to thank Miss Wallen, too, because she's putting in a lot of time helping these guys pick the right music. If you sit through her class, you see that they start somewhere and they finish a little bit better every time that they practice. So I know it takes a lot of hours and dedication to have a program and kids participate and do as well as we have. So congratulations, everyone.
I'm doing the exact same thing because we got a bunch of wonderful kids in middle school. So middle school kiddos, let's come on up. I'll tell you what, let's do 6th grade here and 7th and 8th grade over on that side. Okay. I guess middle school adults want to come on too. They're even all matching. Isn't it great? Wonderful. Okay. So we also at the middle school had a boatload, just an incredible amount of kids who went to ISMA, and we have a number of them here. I think Mr. Leach's model of doing this is the right way to do it, so we're going to go ahead and do that exact same thing. I don't have a list of exactly what everyone did, but I'm going to go ahead and read off everyone's name at both the 6th grade and the 7th and 8th grade. I'll ask you guys to go ahead and share just by a show of hands who did a solo, who did an ensemble, and just honor you guys for just an incredible job. Well done. I will say I was a cellist growing up, and I ended up going to the IU Jacob School of Music, and I only did ISMA one time in my entire life. So the fact that these kids are going now in the 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade, and just showcasing that talent early on in their career. I mean, truly what a Blue Future is about, right? Because we know that more and more is going to be coming. So if you are here when I say your name, just go ahead and step on forward. So the majority of these kids went and participated on February 7th at the ISMA Solo and Ensemble Festival. In the 6th grade, we had, just step forward, like I said, Nicolette Biros, Halen Lighting, Avery Hazelette, Owen Goings, Sophia Leva, Genevieve Pearson, Vanessa Lee, Levi Comer, Damon Saltzman, Emma Shirley, Emily Vaughn, and Caleb Furlani. And so a great group of 6th grade kiddos. Of those 6th graders, who did a solo? Raise your hand if you did a solo. Congratulations, well done, ladies. And who was in an ensemble? There we go. Great job. And then for our 7th and our 8th grade, we had Elliot Jones, Carson Webster, I think he's wrestling tonight, Eli Long, and we'll get to more about Eli in just a moment here, Caitlin Carruthers, Gunnar Moore, Zoe Shirley, Elena Mast, Cohen Haybrick, Loretta Harbaugh, Briley Bales, Haley Carr, Kat Case Baez, Cecilia Scheimer, Logan Harns, Jack Lemie, and Sam Ramirez. And again, I want to see who did a solo in the 7th and the 8th grade. Okay, and then the rest of us did an ensemble, right? Go ahead and confirm that. And Eli, of course, they're pulling double duty. And let's get to the special thing about Eli, too. So correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Shaver, first time in 20 years, right? Yeah, so for the first time in 20 years, TMS had a student advance to the state competition, and so Eli Long was that student with the snare drum, right? Okay, doing a snare drum solo. That was back on the 28th of February, and not only did he earn a gold, but he earned a gold with distinction, which is an incredible thing. So just a really incredible group of students. I know as well, to the parents in the back, as someone whose daughter also participated in ISMA, it's also a lot of work for you, right? Because you got to drive them everywhere. So the time inside of the class, the time outside of the class, and then of course none of this would be possible without Mr. Shaver, who is making sure that he is addressing all of these kids every single day, helping them to grow, and of course the opportunity as well for Mrs. Wallen to be able to come down and support our bands in the afternoon is just something that's really incredible. So a huge round of applause for these band students in this band program. Congrats, guys. Let's do the same thing. Pop on back there, and I'll get everyone their Blue Future awards.
Mr. Dover, you want to come on up? You're fine. You're good.
So I just wanted to share an experience I had a few weeks ago. Jessica Nichols had sent out an email with an opportunity for kids to participate in a volunteer situation with Dr. Andrews out of Sharpsville. A lot of you might know her. And she does a unhoused population outreach program where She brings people, groups into her home, and they compile hygiene bags and just kind of basic survival types of things. And then they go down to Indianapolis, and they find people that they make contact with and set them up, and they feed them and do all kinds of wonderful things. And anyways, Jessica Nichols had sent out something like less than a week's notice, like, hey, I need to get like 10 people together so that we can pull this off and do this. I was like, okay, I found, I see what I can do to help you. And I contacted some of my kids. I got like 4 kids to get a permission slip to take home, but none of them returned it. And it came Friday, like the day before we were supposed to do it. And we were pretty short of our numbers that we needed to get for that. And personally myself, I was kind of like, oh, good, I get my Saturday back. We can cancel it, or whatever. And it was like 32 degrees outside and the wind was blowing. It wasn't like a great day to be wandering around downtown, Anyways, Jessica miraculously found 14 kids in like less than 12 hours or something like that. And I show up here and I get on the bus and it's like, oh my goodness, the bus is full, It was an incredible thing that she was able to pull off with like almost no notice at all. And I think it kind of went in to kind of show the character of not only the students, but the people that we have working here. And once we got downtown, Dr. Andrews puts together these bags and we go walk around, and if you need a coat, oh, there's a coat cart over here. We'll get you a coat. You need sandwiches, whatever. And so they handle out. Well, we handed out all the coats. And it was a cold day. And there was a person, a lady looking for a coat that didn't have one. And Jessica actually took the coat off she was wearing and gave it to the person. She did that in front of all the students. And I was kind of like nudging her. I was like, keep your coat. It's cold, But she did. She gave out her coat. And I think at the end of the day, I was very happy I went. I was more than happy to, I feel strongly she time, talent, treasure. It's us to give. And she was a fantastic example of that. And I felt it was important to share that with the community itself. So Jessica. Oh, one of the 14.
That's what I got.
This was like 2 weeks after she came back from Christmas.
That's why COVID.
That's good. All right. Well, that ends our Blue Future Awards. And if you were here just for that, this is the time for you to leave unless you want to hear the rest of the agenda. So thank you for coming and supporting, and congratulations to our Blue Future Award winners. The next item on our agenda is comments from the community. We had no one sign up for the evening, so we'll move right into the consent agenda. On the consent agenda, we have the approval of tonight's agenda, the approval of the minutes from the work session and the regular session of February 10th, approval of claims for payrolls of February 13th and February 27th, and we have the AP run for March of 2026. We have the approval of a personnel report, which I'll read at the conclusion of this, and we have no field trips to approve this month. And again, the donation acceptance is attached and in your packet. And again, just overwhelmed by the generosity of and support that the school has from our community. So with that being said, I need a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda items.
All right, I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Are there any questions or comments from the board?
I had a question.
Yeah.
On the personnel report, and I can't get it to load. On the varsity baseball position, it says that it's now an amended position. We had a whole committee put together to hire that position, so I was just wondering why that is now changing. And without the same, like what process went through that. I'm not like necessarily opposed to it. I just want
Right.
to know the process behind it.
That was just a conversation that we had with Mr. Johnson, and felt like that might be a way to help him a little bit with the duties of his position as principal of the elementary, and to allow to have somebody else to help him with planning for practices and doing some other things like that. He will still be the head coach, but just some separation of some of the duties a little bit to even that out a little with his responsibilities as principal. So that was one of the reasons why we did that.
Was Tim already on the staff or is he new?
Yes, he was already on the staff. Yes.
And what process did he have to go through for that?
He was already a volunteer coach and was approved.
Just
Yeah.
appointed?
Yeah.
He didn't
Yeah.
have to go through any interview process?
He was
I don't know anything about
yeah,
him. I don't
yeah.
know.
He was interviewed.
Serving on that committee, I know we put a lot of time
Sure.
into like vetting all the applicants, so I just wasn't sure if that was
Sure.
the case here as well.
Okay.
I've spent all winter with him, or I've been hired, he was my first hire. I spent all winter with him. An outstanding person, outstanding guy, outstanding baseball mind, and great relationship. Him and I work real well together.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
Maybe the answer to Kim's question, if I'm following, is not all coaches go through the interview process, right? Certain head coaches and others are just responsibility of the building principal and athletic director. Would that be
Yes.
accurate?
That would be accurate. I mean, we have some of the more,
High profile?
yeah, I
Yeah, and I'm
suppose.
not necessarily challenging that. I just was confused as to, we had
Yeah,
a
I know.
committee of 6 people to hire this
Sure.
one
Right.
position.
But the assistant coach is usually then just.
Are appointed by head
Sure,
coaches.
but now this is a split head coach position, and I just wasn't sure how we came to that. That's all.
It's a legitimate question. Absolutely a legitimate question. And again, this kind of happened in really the rather short term. So that's just kind of how that went. I'd be glad to talk a little bit more to you afterward
And like I
about
said,
that.
I don't know him. I just didn't know the process behind it.
Sure.
Any other questions? All right. I do have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Agenda is approved. Next on the evening's agenda is the superintendent's report for Dr. Glaze.
Okay.
Oh, wait, timeout. I didn't read the,
Oh, you did
I
not?
did not
You
read
did not?
the-
Okay, yeah.
I got Kim through me. It's Kim's fault. Personnel report, nothing to report on certified staff. On classified staff, unfortunately, we have Michael Wheeler, our IT assistant in the middle school, be resigning effective March 13th. On ECA staff, we have the resignation of Dana Lee Furnon and as the 7th grade volleyball coach, and Aubrey Newserling as the 8th grade volleyball coach. We have recommendations for Ashley Sampson as the head varsity girls tennis coach for the high school. John Bechtel for the middle school girls assistant track coach. Jace and Sam Edwards, again in the middle school golf coach as a split position for the middle school. And then Brian Johnson amended varsity head coach split position with Tim Davis. That concludes the personnel report. Now it is time for the superintendent's report.
Okay, all right. Essentially, I wanted to bring you guys a little bit up to date on the Tipton Blue Devil Athletics Foundation. Everything has moved forward with that. All the paperwork has been filed and approved by the feds in the state. They have opened a bank account. Next month, we will be coming to you to pass a resolution to transfer some ECA funds that we capture within our school to move over to the foundation. That does take board action. It does take a resolution. So when we have that ready, we'll come and ask for your approval. I did want to thank Carrie Capshaw, Colin Quinn, and Craig Leach, who are serving as our initial board of directors. That will expand up to 9 individuals, but right now we have to have 3 in order to incorporate and to create a nonprofit. I believe that this foundation is going to be an excellent opportunity for our school, and I think it's definitely a step in the right direction. And I do appreciate all of your support as we've been moving this forward. And we'll keep you posted on some additional individuals that will be part of that board of directors. On the playground, we met with the mayor last week to just kind of confirm the city would be willing to assist us with the demolition of our current playground. They will be helping us with that starting in the early part of June. So they will be using their manpower and equipment to help us with the dismantling of our current playground. I told him since we were allowing, since they were assisting us, that we would allow them to use our high school baseball field for Babe Ruth at no cost. And I just felt like that was a fair trade, and I appreciate the city working with us and able to provide that heavy duty equipment to get that playground up and so we can get the new one in place. Construction will begin as soon as demo is complete. Special thanks to the mayor for meeting with Scott and I. Had a great meeting. Re-roof, we're finishing up the band, choir, and art room. That should be in the next couple of weeks. We are completing metalwork. That's going a little slower than we'd like, to be perfectly honest. Hopefully that's going to go a little faster. We are still ahead of schedule, but I'd like to see the metalwork happen a little faster. I think that we will see that moving a little quicker here in the next couple of weeks. Then we will be moving to the vocational wing, which means all of the dumpsters and such that we have up front will move back by the vocational wing. So our front end will look a little better. But they want to have that within close proximity of the roof, obviously, for demo and everything else. So that'll be happening probably around spring break or right at the beginning of April. Pool deck, I shared this a little bit with everyone last meeting, but we're going to drain the pool on the 23rd. We're going to do deck demo. We had the opportunity to go to Kokomo to look at their pool deck. They had a little different treatment on their pool deck than what we were getting on ours. We ended up going with that, the same cost, just has a little better look, and durability and everything is still the same. So we're going to go with this new treatment for the deck. I think it'll look great, and I think it'll be, there was some concern on the slippage and whether there could be some slippage with what we were looking at originally, but we feel like that this new coating will do the trick and do what we need. So we'll also be setting the new starting blocks, and the Dectron install will be on March the 30th. So you'll see a Gigantor crane in the back that will be here for a day or maybe two, taking the old Dectron unit off and then putting the new one back on. Next meetings, just to kind of give you some information about what's coming up as far as curricular materials. Some of you have served on these committees, but this is, we will be asking for your approval of the TMS and THS ELA curricular materials. Also, we'll be doing a review of a proposed calendar for 27 and 28. And then we will also get our property and casualty insurance renewal. We will try to get all this information to you in advance so you have some time to take a look at it and make sure you have ample time to review. So I'll probably be sending some of this information out just via email, not necessarily as part of the packet as we are getting ready to make those recommendations. In May, we will have the scope and sequence approval, which is something we do annually. It typically is in April, but April is going to be a pretty busy month, so I thought I'd just move that back to May. Anyway, that will happen soon, then in May. And that's all I got.
Question?
Yeah.
The curricular committees?
Yes.
Was there board members on those?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Can I ask, like, how do we decide? Like, I've never been asked to be on one of those. Is
Oh.
it random draw? How do we?
We just, honestly, what we do is we just kind of open it up for anybody who has an interest to be a part of that. So Jen was part of the high school curricular
Yeah,
material.
I think it was, I think you sent an email or something.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
it was part of our packet, just if you had interest and,
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
Missed that.
Yeah, yeah.
oh, don't worry, we'll ask you next.
Yeah, you did, definitely.
You only had to read like
I see, what-
10 novels in about 3 months.
10 novels.
How to get on committees.
I think
The-
my favorite part of the high school is you got to approve the Bible, so.
Yeah, you did
I had to read
approve the
the whole
Bible.
thing.
It was pretty
You have to
exciting.
pick which,
Version.
NIL.
Oh, no,
Where
they gave
did
you the- they
NIV?
gave you the right one.
Yeah, yep. So, yes.
I had a question about the pool deck. If I remember correctly, and I might be wrong, I've been in a lot of pools.
Yeah.
Is the Kokomo one tile Is that-
No,
No.
it's
Okay.
not. It's kind of a rubber
Okay.
flake coating. Would you call it speckly?
Okay.
Yeah, but it has a really nice grip to it,
Okay.
and which was obviously important. We don't want slippage, so never a good idea. But I really think, and I was concerned that the cost would be
Now, was,
a lot higher, and it ended up being the same. So
did Mr. Vester also have input on that?
yeah,
Yeah,
we all went on a field trip to Kokomo and checked it out, and he was the one who brought it to our attention,
Yeah.
and so he was very pleased.
Okay.
Not going to be red and blue, but it'll be blue and white. So anyway, but it looked good.
Yeah.
So
I asked
yeah,
because he had mentioned before that tile would be nice, but he knew it was extra expensive.
yeah,
So
tile.
maybe that was his.
Yeah, we're talking probably at least twice,
Well, I
maybe
was
even
wondering how you
3
got it
times
that
the
price.
cost. I know that when I was at Anderson, we priced it and it was well into the $250,000
That's why I was
range.
wondering how you
Yeah,
got it down.
yeah.
Any other questions or comments on the superintendent's report? Okay, next we'll move on to Spotlight on Schools. We have a unification drill presentation by Mr. Lyday.
All right, good evening. Thanks for having me. Dr. Glaze asked me to just come fill the board in on what we've been planning. This was born from actually a student initiative. Mrs. Fernung's Mayor's Leadership Committee last year. One of the groups was devoted to school safety. And one of the things that they pointed out was that it's been some years since a reunification drill has occurred here. I believe it's been 7 or 8. So one of their points was to ask the school if we could do that. So in our safety committee, we meet once per quarter as a district. We started to look at options for that. Officer Maddox, myself, and the other assistant principals attended a training through the I Love You Guys Foundation last spring, where they walk us through a reunification drill. Essentially, where reunification is, if there was ever a reason why we would have to evacuate the entire student body, we have predetermined sites that we would take the students to, and then processes that we would follow to reunify those kids with their parents. In the example of Noblesville, when they had a shooter event, it took them like 12 hours to reunify all the kids with their parents. So it is a really lengthy and thought out process. You have to make sure that kids get with the right people, that there isn't mass hysteria, that kids aren't jumping into cars with adults that they're not approved to be with. And so there's just a lot of things that need to be worked out. So we started the planning phase for this particular drill almost a year ago. We went through that training exercise, and that's when the group determined that we would try to orchestrate what we're calling a micro drill. So as opposed to evacuating all 15 to 2,000 kids from the school campus, we're going to conduct an actual lockdown drill like we usually do, and then we're going to evacuate a small group of students from each building to try and practice these procedures. So we're going to have 1 high school classroom, 1 middle school classroom, and 2 elementary school classrooms that are going to evacuate like we would in a lockdown drill. They're going to respond to a perceived threat in the building somewhere. They're going to leave down Bus Barn Road, and they're going to board buses and be evacuated to one of our chosen sites, where then we will have a select group of parents who have signed up to come and practice the reunification process. Those parents will need to have photo identification and be listed on their student's Power School as an approved pickup person. So permission slips went out last week on Friday for the students who we've chosen to participate in this. We've chosen one of our ag classrooms in the high school. We have one classroom that's our NJHS students from our middle school, and 2 5th grade classrooms that were chosen to participate in this. Parents will be able to opt in to come and pick their students up. We're happy to facilitate any parents who want to be a part of that. We'll have buses waiting to bring kids back to campus that are not picked up by their parents, for those parents who work and can't participate in it. Our hope is that we'll have somewhere around a dozen parents that want to come through and pick their kids up. We're looking at around 70 to 85 students total. So if about 10% of those end up getting picked up altogether, that would be an optimal situation for us. And that can at least walk our staff through what that process is going to look like. We can come up with some of the chinks in our system. We can test some things, and then we could plan for, a future event. Whether that be conducting a full reunification drill in the coming years, or, an unthinkable event here at the school that we would be better prepared for. I'm happy to field any questions that you guys might have about it. We had our planning session last week, Wednesday, where we really firmed everything up. Mrs. Fag was on that committee, so she can also help you guys out with that if you had any questions. But we're looking at doing that towards the end of this month. Anybody have any questions?
The parents come to the location.
They
not-
will,
not back to
yes,
school.
correct.
That's the location.
So it's in the nature of these things that we don't release the locations ahead of time. So with this particular location that we're going to be using, we will notify the parents who are signed up, probably through Parent Square. They would receive the notification, your student has been evacuated. They are available for pickup at such and such location. Please proceed there now. And then that parent, as they arrive, they would be reunified with their student through our process.
Do the local law enforcement people, are they going to be notified that this is occurring?
Yes, they already have. So they have the date, they have our locations, and they have been a part of the planning process since the very, very beginning. Officer Maddox obviously works as the liaison between us and the Tipton Police Department. He's also worked with the Tipton County Sheriff's Department. We are only going to have Officer Maddox involved in this particular drill, but Chief Stout, Assistant Chief Lacey, all those guys have been a part of the planning process, so they'll be in possession of our plans, and they'll be part of the reflections after.
Have you included the hospital?
I don't believe so.
Well, if it's a true emergency, they're going to have people come in, whether it's physical injury or mental injury. So I think they need to be in some part of this plan, notified that you're working on this, because, they need to understand that we have a plan if we have this crisis. And how will they fit into it? How are you going to notify them? We've got 50 students coming in with potential gunshot wounds. Worst
Certainly
case
something that
scenario.
we need to address, yeah. Glad you brought that up. Thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you, Tom.
All right, thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.
Next item on our agenda is the department reports. So we had the technology, the associate superintendent report, food services director, and our athletic report that were in your packets. Were there any questions or comments for, I guess, two of those that are here?
I have a question.
Yes.
I read?
Yes.
I know you know.
We are waiting on the official results to come out. We have some preliminary results. We're still waiting on a few more kids to finish testing. Just cursory look over the initial results. We're hovering around where we were last year, maybe a little bit below. Like I said, the challenge that I've kind of run into, and it's something that I plan to actually talk with our elementary team about, is identifying where kids were last year compared to this year. For third graders who took it again a second time, what kind of growth we saw over the course of a year versus just over the summer, which is what we have between now and May, and then they take it a third time at the end of summer school. I would say right now early returns are pretty much hovering around where we were last year. So, right.
Do we tell the students?
Tell
Do
them.
we tell the students that they pass? There's a lot of kids who are panicking about this, right?
So
Like-
all of the teachers will notify all of the families.
You have or you will?
But the window doesn't close till Friday. So right now, we can't really And we still have 2 students that are taking it, so we cannot legally indict.
Okay, I just wondered, because I know how stressful that is at some homes, all the homes. And then I just want to say, God bless all of you, this new accountability
Yes,
model thing. I read
yes.
through all of that and I was mad halfway through. Stay out, leave us alone. If you need some support, if you need someone to go tell the legislature to bug off, this is ridiculous.
Well, Dr. Glaze and I have sat through several of these iterations of the accountability model, and I'll say this, I think it's fair to have one, 100%. We want to hold schools accountable for doing the job that they're paid tax dollars to do. I get that. And I'll say, from my perspective, I think this is better than maybe what we've had in the past, but again, there's pros and cons to every plan model they're going to come out with. I know there was some emphasis on putting more stress on your high stakes accountability assessments, and that certainly plays part of it. I think they called it like the gatekeeper of your scores. We're going to have a full blown explanation of this in a couple months
I
here.
hope so. 'Cause if you didn't go through it, we're supposed to rank our students based on, I wrote some things
Every-
down. Their civic duty,
Yep. Five
their
different
financial
categories.
abilities,
Yep.
their work ethic, and their digital literacy. Like,
Yeah,
like we don't do, like, now we have to
a lot of hoops to
grade
jump through.
that and go, and then, oh, what a mess.
Yep. So, like I said,
I'm on the leave us alone train. Sorry.
wanted to give you guys a lot of runway to digest everything on that.
We are submitting this as evidence that we have the digital literacy. Right?
I will tell you, I look a lot more intimidating in their photo than with the hair and the glasses. I like it.
You are on an episode of Miami Vice there.
Yeah.
So-
Yep. Again,
As part of Miami Vice or the criminal of that episode?
We're not going there.
Okay.
I had to talk Craig off the side because he was looking at the high school accountability model and he's like, I can't even imagine what that spreadsheet's gonna look like.
yeah,
I'm just saying,
there's a lot of hoops to jump
we're
through.
gonna be
there.
fine.
We'll get through it.
It looked like a nightmare to me. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, we will go to Brooke for our financial report. Brooke?
Thank you. For February, we ended the month with $802,556 in education, $627,829 in operations, debt service $532,748, rainy day $2,035,833. And we did have an increase in our basic support payment for February, but they were reconciling the spec ed count that they took from our December 1st count. And our February ADM count came in at 1336, and that'll be reconciled in the coming months. We did transfer 145,652, which is the monthly max from operations to education in February, and interest income totaled 19,169.07.
Thank you, Brooke. Any questions or comments from the board on our financial report?
Do they do the ADM count every month?
Twice a year.
That's what, just twice a year, right? So February just happened to be the other. Okay, that's.
Yeah.
And is that number
Down.
It's down.
down from the fall?
Down.
Really? 1336.
Did we have any Christmas graduates? Because
We had 10.
10.
10 Christmas graduates. That's I wondered.
And that's something that we are going to. That was a little higher number than we thought we were.
Yeah, I know it's snuck up on us before.
But again, it's, if you've got a kid that's ready to go on, we're gonna let it go on.
Yeah.
So we just need do a little better job of looking at that and getting a better number. where it happens.
Any other questions, comments? All right. There is no old business, so moving on to the new business. We have the approval of the MOU between TCSC and the TEA for a one-time retirement incentive. In order to find additional financial efficiencies, the Tipton Education Association and the School Corporation created an MOU creating a one-time retirement incentive for certified staff The incentive includes a $50,000 incentive paid out over 5 years that can be used as a cash incentive or to cover the cost of an eligible TCSC insurance package. In addition, TCSC will buy out up to 100 sick days at $100 per day. The incentive is capped at the first 8 participants unless mutually agreed to extend the incentive to additional certified staff. The MOU must be approved by the school board and then by the EERB or ERB. So that MOU is in your packet, and I would be interested in a motion and a second to approve that MOU.
I move to approve the MOU between the corporation and the TEA for our one-time retirement incentive.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second to approve the MOU. Questions or comments from the board?
Have we had any teachers?
We have, they really can't send their email like tomorrow. But yes, we have that interest. And Scott and I hosted a meeting. We had probably about 7 teachers there, and then we talked individually with everybody that would be eligible. So I do think there's interest. That final number we won't know until we're closer to April 1st.
Any other questions or comments on the MOU?
I have a question. If all those 7 teachers are from the same school, how does that impact us?
They're actually pretty evenly spread.
Okay.
This does impact the high school a little more than what it does some of the other schools. So there will be some positions that we may have to replace. The one thing that would be good in that situation is that are to replace with a less expensive person. So there will be a cost savings, really pretty much regardless of what we do. But it does have more of an impact with the high school. But that's also where we are overstaffed. We could stand to make some reductions in order to right size the high school.
Do staff, are they allowed to apply for those positions if they're qualified to teach that curriculum?
One of the positions that would be open?
Yes.
Yes, I mean,
Okay.
yes, we will post whatever position that we would need to replace, and anybody that has the certification would be able to do that position.
Okay.
Other questions? I have a motion and a second to approve the MOU between TCSC and TEA for the one-time retirement incentive. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The MOU is approved. Next on our agenda is the mowing contract for 26 and 27 seasons. The board granted permission to advertise for mowing bids at its February 10th, 2026 meeting. Advertisements were made in the Kokomo Tribune and the Tipton Tribune, as well as social media platforms. We received 7 bids on March 2nd. It is recommended to award the 2-year mowing contract to Cage and Company LLC as the lowest, most responsive bid. So I'm asking for a motion and a second to approve the mowing contract for 2026 and 2027.
I move to approve the mowing contract for 26 and 27 seasons.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second to approve the mowing contract. Any questions or public comment on the mowing contracts?
If I'm correct, this was actually not the lowest bid. But we have experience with this company, and we want to move forward with the same company we've had in the past. Is that my correct understanding?
We're looking at the lowest, most responsive, and most responsive. So in this situation, there were some unknowns about the amount of equipment and the amount of personnel the other company had, and whether they could do the job in a timely manner using, that he has plenty of equipment and able to satisfy the contract.
Because we've had the experience in
Right.
the past.
Correct.
And been
Correct.
pleased with what has been done in the past.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
Do we use them for landscaping at all sometimes?
We really do our own landscaping. There is an occasion if
'Cause I
if
saw their
it's,
hourly rate was lower, so if we were
yes,
using them,
yeah, yeah.
that would balance out.
We've rarely used them, but we have used them.
Okay, I just saw that was a line item, but
Yeah, yeah.
Any other questions? All right, I have a motion and a second to approve the mowing contract for 2026 and 2027 for Cage and Company. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The mowing contract is approved. Other matters to come before the board, we have our schedule of events for March 13th is the, believe it or not, end of the third grading period. March 17th is St. Patrick's Day. I believe Mr. Jaworski's already prepared for that with his tie. March 19th through the 23rd is the senior trip. March 26th is a snow makeup day, so school will be in session that day. March 27th through April 5th is our spring break. April 6th is a flex day. And our next meeting is here on April 14th for our monthly board meeting. So the final item on our agenda tonight is the extracurricular accounts, the schedule of balances. Pursuant to Indiana Code 20-41-1-8, we have the treasurer should keep an accurate copy of all money received by the collecting authority and expended. And so a copy of that report is included in your packet, together with all the records and files of extracurricular activities. And this should be filed as required under Section 3 of this chapter. So there's no action required this evening. It's just these reports are being filed with the Board of School Trustees as required. So it's more of an FYI and from a transparency perspective that we've reviewed the ECA balances. So with that, I would take a motion. Yes, so thank you. Yes. I did want to say, as a matter of new business, you're going to see some activity around an event on April 28th that we're going to try and host here in the Inferno. And this will be news to Mr. Leach because I did not call him today to get my permission form signed up for the Inferno, but that's on the list. What we're doing is the Internet Crimes Division in Fishers Police Department is going to come and speak to our community and to our school kids and our parents. They're going to be discussing recent events that have happened in their area and other things that they've been involved in our area. And how do we best educate our parents to protect their students, talk to their students about this, the impacts of generative AI on students and what's able to happen to your student now, unbeknownst to them with some of these tools. And so the Fishers Police Department has generously agreed to come up here, and we're going to host that in the Inferno. It's an hour long and it's free of charge. So we'll be pushing that out to the community. And I'm sure Tesso and other places like that to try and get as many people in as we can. So thank you for that reminder. All right. That being said, I need a motion and a second to adjourn.
I need to adjourn the March meeting.
Second.
All right. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Thank you. I was going to say something, so I'm glad that you did.